Lightning Strike Arcing, my most underrated skill in this league. I'm not a big fan of Magic Vine, but if Magic Vine just fit the build idea, why not? My first plan is using Doyane's prototype, Tool of Vendor's Gamble, Melding of the Flesh, Thread of Hope. So now I have minus 200% lightning resistance, and Doyane's prototype gives nearby enemies have lightning resistance equal to me. The main reason I'm using this mechanic is not Magic Find, it's because I'll use return projectile support in my first plan, so I'm actually using 5 link man skill with Doyane's prototype. I can treat like I'm using Ultimate Super Awakened Lightning Penetration support. And I chose Deadeye as my ascendancy this time. I need Ricochet to make Lightning Strike's projectiles chain when colliding with terrain. 30% chance is actually low, but I can scale up the projectiles number to get the chance. In my current setup, my Lightning Strike of Arcing fires 5 projectiles. 30% multiple 5 projectiles equal to 150%. So basically, I will almost always hit the chance of chain when colliding with terrain. Gathering Winds, of course, the best note of Deadeye. Focal point and far shot is a little struggle to me. If I get far shot, I will have more space on my gears. If I get focal point and use the flagging to get far shot, I will gain more DPS. So I first try to get focal point and use the flagging to gain far shot, and swap back far shot ascendancy note if I cannot cap my basic defensive. With Doyane's prototype, I cannot deal non-lightning damage, so I craft this claw and convert all physical damage to lightning damage with my gloves. And also non-vaal strike skill target 2 additional nearby enemies on implicit. This is the most important modifier of the skill. Lightning Strike is the only strike skill that can hit the ground and spawn projectiles. I can deal 2 attacks at the same time when I on the right positions. So I'm dealing 6 hits for every attack to a single target. 1 melee hit, 1 point blank projectile hit, 2 return projectile hits, and 2 chaining projectile hits. So I do need chaining range to achieve single target chaining hits from terrain. But now I have a big trouble with my defensive. I have to deal with the rest defensive with my amulet, boots, belt, and shield. I think I will going to use Match Blood this time. Match Blood is cheaper now because farming is so easy in late game. I also use Dawnbreaker to gain 20% of physical and cold damage taken as fire. Combo with the Ruby Flux with 95% increased effect. It not help much, but it helped a little bit, I think, and I need more space on my gears. 97% to fire resistance is very good to me, but there are one thing I'm not sure about. Will 14% of lightning damage taken as fire work on this setup? Because I take lightning damage as physical now. You can tell me how it works if you know that. Purity of Ice to gain back the downside of Melding of the Flesh. Resistances on boots, gloves, and amulet. Finally, I just kept my resistances. With the passive skill tree, I also kept my spell suppress, stun avoid on the flux, curse immune on the flux, and the last thing will be elemental ailments avoid. I'm using ancestor visions to get 50%, maximum life cluster to get another 20%, 25% on the boots, and the last 5% from these 2 little cute small note gained by ancestor visions. So finally, I'm going to try to kill Uber either of us. This build make for just map farming, but for DPS testing, I think Uber either of us is good enough for comparisons. And it feels like shit. What I try to achieve is use this character for just map farming. If I cannot kill Uber either of us so easy, means I will not have a good performance in mapping. I'm too underrated the downside of return projectile support. It makes the return projectiles deal 61% less damage. 61% is huge. I think I have no choice. I'm going to do my plan B and give up Magic Find. So I have to replace something with return projectile support. but I also need projectiles returned to me. The only options I have is Nimis, but Nimis implicit will break the mechanic of Doyani's prototype. So I bought this. It cost me 100 divines. Well, farming in this league is easy, right? So I replace volatility to return projectiles and do some adjustment with my gears. So finally we're going to test it again. And I just buy a very fancy MTX of Lightning Strike. It looks so good but costs lag a little bit compared with original. So if you love it too, you can buy it. The DPS is very good, but this one basically a glass cannon. When I run 200% above quantity maps with Legion and Bridge, I almost die in every map. For normal juice map, everything is fine. Just 200% quantity based map is too hard for the character now. But I quite enjoy it. The build worked very well and the chaining is very satisfying. Before we say goodbye, I will explain a little bit projectiles behaviors. In Lightning Strike, all return or chain projectiles from a same attack cannot hit a same target twice. I just know that and I think I mislead people already. Overall, every behaviors from same attack can hit a same target once. Let's say we are doing 2 attacks when we on the right positions, 1 on the ground and 1 on the target. We will always deal melee hit damage, sometimes point blank projectile damage. If projectiles roll directions to the target, 2 chain hits from colliding with terrain, if lucky enough and in the chaining range, 2 return hits from the directions in front of us or behind us. And split projectiles from Cybermark considered the same projectile after splitting, so we will not deal extra hits on the same target from split anyway. It helps for clearing but not single target. But with Ricochet, we actually can achieve all of these even we are using regular Lightning Strike, because Ricochet +1 times to chain, right? But it's a new skill, insane clear speed, why not? I feel very satisfied anyway. So if you want to play Arcane in this league with other classes, you can actually get a charm like this and scale the projectiles number. You can achieve the effect like this also. But after this league, this skill probably won't deal good projectile damage to single target in other classes. So this is the video today, hope you still enjoy it. Like and share if you don't mind, it helps. Thank you very much, enjoy the showcase and see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.